Hey guys, Happy New Year and welcome to a new scenery. I can't believe I'm walking through this forest again, and this was one of the first forests I came to in Germany, very close to my home, and it reminds me of just how amazing it is in autumn, winter when the leaves fall and just the tapestry, and of course when the snow comes, just how muddy your boots get, and it's both familiar and foreign. It's often cold here that I have to wear my gloves, and it brings a strange, warm moment. It brings a sense of gratitude, a sense of kind of finding oneself, a sense of feeling like, okay, maybe this is something that I can conquer. I can see what I can do with it. So it is really just exciting to also be here in the new year. Again, Happy New Year to everybody. It's been a couple of days thinking, how do I frame my thoughts into finding out what do I want to say, what message do I want to bring to myself and to my family. And it brought me to this topic today. As you know, a few weeks ago, already a couple of months ago, in actual fact, uh, I was essentially given notice of termination from Lilium. Let me put my tripod properly so I can be a bit more stable. And that was, again, this is going to be raw and as usual, right? So we are doing raw series now and trying to keep it real. So a couple of weeks ago, over a month ago, really, the termination letter, essentially dated December 20th, came through. Effective termination, post garden leave of 3 months, and that meant that I needed to, start making plans to look for something else. Lord and behold, on the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, we had an online meeting that the CEO announced that we have our jobs back. Yay, amazing. Uh, but that was not my first reaction, to be honest. My first reaction was, okay, what now? What does that mean? What do I do with this information? Where do I go from here? Just like the leaves in the forest that have fallen from the tree, I feel used. I feel old. Lilium feels like old news, and I'm not the only one. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. Maybe everybody was just ecstatic and like, yeah, still got a job. But I would like to think a lot of us felt that now is the time to move forward. Like the universe is telling you, maybe it's time to move forward. Maybe it's time to move forward. And and that was not something that brought me a lot of relief. I think from a big boy perspective it did, but not from an overall sense that I need to move forward and I need change in my life. So today I really wanted to talk about kind of just the fact that life is all about better days. And there's old days and there's these new days. And the things that we have, the boots that we wear, the clothes that we wear, are a signification or a representation of life that we have leaving behind, and the new clothes or whatever the case may be are the new life that are coming before us. And as they say, and I think one of some of the questions I posed myself when going through this was, man, do I really want to do this again? Do I want to go for it? Can I revive a sense of motivation of what Lilium is trying to achieve, my company, and what do I want? And is that still aligned with after everything that has happened, after so many of my friends either left or resigned or were fired, and brought back? what does that mean for the future going forward? What do I want to do? So this is what this podcast is about today. We're out in nature. We're walking around, right? So I'm gonna be talking to you, and we carry on walking. Yeah. So just stick with me. So I think it's really quite important for us to understand that, and to really see that, you know, the things that we wear, and it's a metaphor of a journey. You know, as I'm journeying through this forest, it is a metaphor of a journey. It is a metaphor of kind of, what do you want out of life? What do you want out of kind of the joy that brings you to the morning every single day? What is it that you want? And that is important, because succumbing to just the practicalities of having a job would essentially bring you again to an old forest where it's familiar but it's dead. It's familiar but the leaves have fallen. It's familiar and yet the route has changed. So I think the first point I'm making, and check this kind of mud, hey? Amazing. I think it's quite important that we do realize that, you know, when we want to go back, and when we want to decide to not allow the fear of change, the fear that you know kind of clings and prevents us from feeling desperate, feeling like we cannot proceed, is something that we need to be aware. I think that one thing that now I'm back, yeah, and something I want to just read for you, and it's quite important. The truth is there isn't a right decision, right? You know, what do you do? Do you go back to your old job for the sake of bills, or do you decide to just say, you know what, stuff this, let me just go out on my own and figure things out, and the universe will reply in kind? For those who are young and single and no sense of responsibilities, I say go for it. The universe is clear, and the doors have been opened. You should go for it, for sure. We will miss you, for sure. We will miss you in Lilium, but life is so much more about just fear. Now, for those of us who have bills to pay, for those of us who have children to send to school, for those of us who have, just a need to repave the forest and repave the route to the forest, then you need to kind of take this into account. And I think just like the tall trees that we see all over us and all around us, and the leaves below us, there are specific things you need to watch out for in your forest. You can't cut everything down. You can't cut all the trees down. The trees represent your marriage and stability. The trees represent school for your child and the stability that goes with that. Some trees represent, rent. Some trees represent, electricity bills and loan and car bills and so on and so forth. So one needs to really take that into account. And your walk back to work also doesn't have to be out of fear and compromise. It can be something different. And that's really what I'm focusing on this year, is that being professional is not just about doing the status quo, but being professional is about realizing that you are in control of the status quo. And your status quo is giving your best and looking forward to something else while doing it, irrespective of where you are. And that's really something I wanna focus on this year. And I wanna know what you think about whether you've gone through this before, whether you're going through it now. For all my Lilium friends who are going to see this, if I don't make it alive out of this forest, please know where I am, the Gilching forest. I don't have GPS coordinates, but if you see this and I don't make it and you don't never see me again, know that this is where I am. Black man walking through a German forest. So I do think all of us need, but yeah, all jokes aside, right? I'm trying to be as careful as possible. But all jokes aside, I do think as the light goes down, and I would like to just briefly end this podcast, in this episode really. Maybe it's not a podcast, who knows? I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. It's just my thoughts. Is 2025 should not be a year where you fear change. 2025 should not be a year where the forest behind you is a determination of the journey ahead of you. 2025 should not be a year where you feel boggled down by life's pressures, but you feel relieved that you've come to a new understanding of what change can bring, of what faith can bring, of what hope can bring. And because of that, you realize that, man, it is something that I can definitely bring to the world and feel that I can do something different and I can bring value. And that brings me to the coaching sessions that I've started, and I've taken it seriously. I'm going for it. Does that divorce me from being professional at an old job where I feel like I need to find motivation? No, it does not. The forest is the same. I need to figure out a new journey. I need to figure out a new way. I need to figure out what it means to walk through it, find new clothes, find new boots, refurbish my boots. I don't know, whatever it takes, right? To really make sure that I am at the best self that I can be in the environment that I'm in. So, as we go through 2025, the first few months, to my Lilam colleagues, to everyone else who's going through hardship, not figuring out what to do with life, unemployed, going through a forest, finding a new path, don't fear change. Fear change is a crippling factor. It does not help. Embrace change. Embrace a new avenue. Embrace a forest. Embrace the fact that you can go through it, as raw as it might be, as ugly as it might be, as rough as it might be, as cold and snowy and dirty and muddy as it might be, that you tell yourself, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna find out what that means, and I'm gonna figure out how am I gonna improve it. The light is going down. It's beautiful out here. To kind of relieve your thoughts, figure out what it should do for you, and that's my encouragement. My encouragement for me, for this year, for the next few weeks, next few months, however long I'm going to be in Lilium and this coaching thing that I've decided to take seriously. Join me on this journey. Yeah, I'm going to try and make more of these podcasts if you guys like it. It's refreshing for me because I'm outside and I love being outside, so you're getting to discover a different side of me, which is always important. But don't fear change. Yeah, don't fear change. Let's do this journey together. Let's try and strive to be our best self, to learn, to grow, to associate, to seek advice, to compromise, but yet at the same time to give our best self. This is Paula Nkantwe. Until next time. This was an impromptu podcast of Molo Molo African Tech Stories, focused on my life in the next few weeks. Until next time. Ciao.